The number of women who have been hurt, attacked, or sexually assaulted by men who are either taking advantage of these rules or who are actually just exploiting them. Look at this graphic. This is a graphic of just some of those who have been accused and gotten in trouble for doing this, for going, for example, into the women's restroom and getting caught taking a mirror and sliding it underneath the bathroom stall divider so he could get a glimpse of the next woman with her pants down or her skirt up, doing her business.
So here we are back with Megyn Kelly today, and as you can see, she's talking about this whole trans women in women's spaces issue. I don't think you have to guess where I stand on this. I think it's the whole trans ideology thing is something that needs to be nuked. It needs to be dumped in a volcano and destroyed. There is no bridging a divide here. There is no sitting down at the table to talk about this. You know, I think most ordinary people, most normal, decent people would say, yeah, okay, you know, you're a man, but you say you're a woman now. Well, fine, live your life. But I'm not going to take part in your delusion. You know, if you're a personal friend of mine and you used to be a Jenny and now you say you're James, yeah, for personal friends, you know, and you ask me to call you James now, yeah, sure, I will. We're friends, but that's a personal level. That does not translate. That works at a personal scale. It doesn't work at a larger scale, you know, in a city or a country. It just doesn't work. Sorry, it doesn't work. And nobody should be, you know, it's madness to even have to discuss this. Like, why are we even having this conversation? Because there's, again, you know, when I was young, sure, there were what we called cross-dressers at the time. You know, that's what they were called, or transvestites. And yeah, it's always existed. No one's denying it. But to claim that it is normal and perfectly valid, and you know that transvestites or cross-dressers or trans women are women, just as much as other, you know, natural women are women, is madness. No, I disagree, and I won't let it happen. And of course, if you have daughters like Megyn Kelly does, this adds another layer to the, you know, this, it just, you know, it makes me stronger in my belief that we have to fight against this. And it's such a huge distraction. It should not even be a discussion. So let's carry on and see. And this is not just in America, by the way. I mean, I know a lot of you who watch this channel aren't in the United States. I'm not in the United States. I was born and raised there, but I live in a Western European country in the European Union. And this stuff is happening here too. It's happening in Europe. Where America goes, unfortunately, Europe often follows, even down these insane rabbit holes that lead to madness.
I don't want to have to worry about that. Now, there's every chance that a regular man could just sneak into an airport bathroom. You never know. This is one of the freaky things about being a woman. Guys, you may not know that we worry about this stuff sometimes, but you never know. As someone's in there looking at you, I mean, some guys get off on this. But it is a very different story if we're allowing them in. And all they have to say is, it's my gender identity. I identify as a woman. And while Sarah, formerly Tim, is doing his best to look the part of a woman, how does it stop those guys? Put that graphic back up there.
Half the time, they're not even doing their best. They're just literally just saying they're a woman. I know in some European countries, you literally can do that. You can get your ID card changed. You literally just go to the town hall, say, oh, I identify as a woman now. Bam, done.
If the rule is you can come into the bathroom based on your gender identity, how do we stop these guys from coming in? In fact, let me show you some of the so-called trans people online right now who are threatening Nancy Mace, all of whom would be allowed into one of these women's restrooms at the U.S. Capitol if Speaker Johnson doesn't change the rule. Take a look at this guy in SOT 3.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
Perfectly normal.
Make no mistake, Speaker Johnson and every other member on Capitol Hill, you allow, quote, Sarah McBride in, you allow him in. That's just the fact. What will you say then? What will you say when that guy, maybe it won't be Nancy Mace, maybe it'll be a civilian, maybe it'll be somebody like me, who's just there to take my kids on a tour. We have to go into the women's bathroom, and that guy comes in. You can't have it. I'm sorry, but it must be stopped. Sarah is not allowed in, and neither is that guy. And it's a very simple rule. Women deserve to have their own private, safe, and secure spaces. We deserve not to have our risk of attack elevated as a result of a different rule that allows men in, and we deserve to have our peace of mind just knowing that we're in female-only spaces. We don't have to approve attacks or a pattern of violence, though there is one. We don't have to prove that. It is enough for us to say we don't want it. We want female-only spaces to remain female, period. And if you get bullied into allowing men in, including this newly elected man from Delaware, you are siding with men who suffer from a mental disorder over women who are simply asking for the privacy and security we've had for decades. Understand what you're deciding. And you, people who are in charge on Capitol Hill, males, congressmen and so on, are not going to have to deal with it. I'll have to deal with it. My kid will have to deal with it. I mean, my daughter's in 7th grade. They're going to Capitol Hill this year on a field trip. They're girls. They're 13-year-old girls. Do you want that guy I just showed to be able to go into the girls' room when my daughter's in there? When a group of 13-year-old girls is in there? If my daughter shouldn't have to deal with it and I shouldn't have to deal with it, Nancy Mace should not have to deal with it either. You've got people like AOC saying this is bullying. It's not bullying to say, I don't wish to participate in your delusion or your sexual fetish.
Yeah, absolutely. It isn't bullying. And this is where leftism leads. It's leftism itself is a mental illness as far as I'm concerned. And it is destroying Western society. And that destructive tendency, that destructive trend is accelerating, clearly. But we are seeing pushback on it. But the pushback is... See, the problem with conservatives always, that's why I just don't like conservatism as an ideology, if it is even such a thing, is it's always just letting the leftists do their thing, then the conservatives push back, and so the leftists take 3 steps forward, conservatives push them back a step maybe, or even 2 steps maybe, but then the leftists keep pushing again, and it's always a downward trend. The overall trend is downwards. So at this point, maybe with the election of Donald Trump, that will signal a change, maybe. If it does signal a change in America, and we get some serious pushback and roll back some of all this madness that's happened over the last 10, 20 years, maybe we can see that in Europe too. I certainly hope so. Let me know what you think about all this, because it's serious. Things are getting serious out there. In the meantime, please like and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel and continue making content for you.